octopus in a German aquarium, turned into a global celebrity for his uncanny ability to predict the winner of all of Germany's matches, even a group stage defeat to Serbia and an ousting by Spain in the semifinals. "Nothing beats grilled octopus," said Dolores Lush. Lush? Wow, okay. Lush. A Germany fan who works on a Berlin fish stall. "Cut him up in thin slices and grill him on all sides with a dash of lemon juice, olive oil, and garlic on it. Delicious." Now, and I guess at this point we've heard that the Spain won. I mean, the match was just going on, so that octopus has a pretty good record for one World Cup, which is, I believe, seven matches.
Right, but we don't know how many other types of animals are being used for the same sort of prediction.
Yeah.
And so we're only hearing the ones that actually give us positive results.
There might be a capybara somewhere predicting things completely incorrectly, or who knows. But
it's not out of the realm of possibility to get seven.
And it's
strikes, especially on a flip of a coin.
Not like this was a scientific experiment. They just put food in boxes and he picked a box. We don't know what kind of food it was. We don't know what separated one food or another. Somebody who actually does statistics for soccer might have been involved. And it's just to me this whole thing is sort of religious backlash writ small. I mean, you've got this octopus who's, and they're really into it, and there's always a little bit of superstition in sports. I'm a fan of baseball, so I'm aware, and some atheists and freethinkers don't care for it. I'm okay with it. It's a fun game. The whole thing is a game. It's great entertainment. So I'm in line with it. But then to go and to get really into it because it's correctly, and then he's sort of a Cassandra thing where he picks that they're going to lose, and now they want to eat him up. That's just, historical precedents galore.
Right. Well, and again, you mentioned that there were no scientific controls. We have really no idea how real this is.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously, I've already mentioned selection bias. When you're just looking for the hits and you're not looking to see all of the misses, then it's going to look very impressive.
Well, yeah, there's the 7 trials. Let's see what it looks like at 70 and at 700 and at 7,000.
Right.
But speaking of precedents, you've got another story there, I believe, has some precedents involved.
A friend gave this to me recently. This is from the LA Times. The Supreme Court recently ruled against a University of California student group that excluded gays. The Christian Legal Society, the Christian Legal Society chapter had sued UC Hastings College of Law, arguing that denial of school recognition and of access to state funding and facilities violate the group's First and 14th Amendment rights to free speech and the free exercise of religion.
And I read a little bit about this, and what was up is not their ability to exist and not their ability to speak, but because they exist at a state university, their ability to use state funding and state facilities for a group which establishes religion.
Right. Yes. In no way were they being excluded from being a religious group. They were only told that they couldn't discriminate, and that was it. They have the right to accept the funds if they want. If they want to discriminate, then they simply just reject getting the funds.
And once again, we're seeing that the concept of free speech is being misconstrued and moved into areas where it wasn't really designed to be. I mean, like, for example, in your first story, it was the existence of a free speech saying one nation indivisible, which was the pre-1950s Pledge of Allegiance, was curtailing their free speech. And here it is their inability to use state funding and state facilities for the establishment of religion is somehow curtailing their First and 14th Amendment rights. And that's part of the problem here, is that in situations like this, the nature of the debate, I mean, the First Amendment, I'm not going to quote it here, my memory isn't that good, but it says something very specific. There's no establishment of...
and the free exercise clause.
Yeah, and then the free exercise clause.
Right, and I think that was what they were arguing, is that they were limiting their right to exercise their religion freely. And in their case, that means being able to discriminate against groups like gays.
And the thing that they tend to forget is that it works in their favor as well as in our favor. I mean, the whole thing about the Bill of Rights is that they are a Bill of Rights. They are rights for everyone. And it's just... everything. First Amendment is where we go first. It's part of the local mythology. And then this is sort of the elephant in the room. As we mentioned, was it last episode? Sometime in the past, that Christopher Hitchens was coming to speak in Seattle, and unfortunately, that show ended up getting canceled for very personal reasons, and that leads to this story. And this is atheist Christopher Hitchens' cancer news prompts conversion debate. This comes up to us from the USA Today. News that raging atheist Christopher Hitchens canceled his book tour for his Hitch 22 memoir to deal with throat cancer has prompted some hot debate on conversions in dire distress. So what they're saying is, well, I'll just read this, is Rod Dreher at BeliefNet.com suggests folks join in praying for his healing body and soul. Somehow I doubt the author of God is Not Great would object. Cancer has a way of humbling one in this regard. Anyway, he suffers and has more to suffer and needs us to stand with him in whatever way we can. Then George Birkin, who writes for the online NJ.com site for the Star Ledger in New Jersey, it would be a huge blow to Hitchens' ego, as it is to any ego, to admit that he's been wrong these many years. But Hitchens' rebellion against God has been so public that God may require a very public humbling. But maybe God is doing it this way because he desires that Hitchens give up his God, that is, Hitchens' pride in being different from the run-of-the-mill mortal. Maybe God is doing it this way so that Hitchens can encounter the God he has been denying for so long before eternity sets in. And, oh, man.
Do you notice how we're often referred to as militant atheist? And essentially that means that we're just sitting down at a typewriter, well, a computer now, of course, and it's dated myself.
Yeah, militant seems to mean, as far as I can see from the media, militant means that we're actually talking. I've yet to meet anyone who's willing to carry around.
Disagreeable, but it's still just dialogue.
Well, debate is important. Debate is one of the foundations of this democracy, and if we can't talk about this, then what are we going to talk about? And there's no. I don't see a sort of a Waco scenario going on with atheists. There's no caches of weapons anywhere.
No, bombing of federal buildings.
No.
Yeah, don't get us started.
Low. But militant has a very specific meaning, and it's military, and that's weapons, and that's hierarchy, and the thing about atheism is that I've got one rule that I've applied just observationally from atheism, is that if you're doing it dogmatically, you're doing it wrong, and sort of a hierarchy that militant would require would sort of demand some level of dogma that I don't think we really have. This is where the herding cats things really comes into play.
Right, and we're always being admonished to be open-minded, but you can only be so open-minded.
Yeah.
There has to be limits.
There's a great episode right there. Just the phrase open-minded. I see myself. I'm a skeptic. I'm a free thinker. I'm an atheist. I'm also open-minded. I'm willing to listen to people. I'm willing to have fun with it. But there's open-minded, and then there's evidence, and those are two different standards.
But it is really sad to hear that Hitchens has come down with cancer. Obviously, we were disappointed when his show was canceled, but of course, finding out this news was even more devastating. And I know a lot of people that are very upset with this.
And the first guy, at least he has the nicety to say that he's hoping he pulls through, and he doesn't wish him any ill will, and we should stand with him. It's kind of disingenuous to say, well, here's an opportunity for conversion.
Right.
And it really doesn't work that way. It goes back to the atheists and foxholes argument, which I referenced yesterday, that's a relatively new argument, especially with modern warfare. Here's hoping he recovers soon. Here's hoping he can make a future engagement in Seattle. I'm really looking forward to hear from him.
So what do we have next?
We have some emails. So I'm going to start with a quick one. This is from Gary. Oh, no, it's not. I'm going to start with this one. This is from Corin. From SourceForge. Hey, SourceForge. I see a non-functioning link to an audio archive. Do you have any plans for a podcast audio feed? Yes. Yes, I do. That would be me. I've been kind of focusing on the hosting thing. This is new to me, but we've got an audio feed coming.